Well, hello. Let's have a look. Let's get my chat window open. Apologies for people who keep joining the chat and I don't see it. I kind of get super focused on something, and when I get super focused on something, I just don't see the chat. I get it all the time where I don't see Slack notifications and even pop-ups for meetings. I'm just a bugger for it. So apologies for not reading the chat. Also, let me know what's going on with the stream as well. If the quality's okay, you should be able to see my mouse moving around the screen without it juddering. So hopefully that's okay. My graphics card's nonsense. So let me go to X and let's promote that I'm beginning to do something. Hey X. Jesus, what? It's even Twitter. It's always going to be Twitter. So post. Live. What are we on? We're doing GoLang. Coding. What we're going to work on, let's work on radius. Radius. I wonder if, well, it's just called radius, isn't it? So it's radius project, but I don't think you're allowed hyphens. Radius. Yeah, you're not allowed dashes. Let's just use radius. Live GoLang coding. I think that's enough. Point to my channel because I don't know what the stream value is going to be, but if they go to my channel, I'll be able to do it. I had three people, honestly. Thank you very much. But no, I do this for fun, so if people find it interesting, great. Let's head over to the Radius project. One of the good things to do is to have a look at labels. Good first issue. Right. Migrate GoLang mocks to the UberGo mock. Oh, UberGo mock. Not heard of this one. So Go mocks. Let's have a look. Let's zoom in. Go mock is a mocking framework. Just genius for Go programming. Oh God. It integrates well with Go's built-in testing packages, but can be used for other contexts too. So what do we do? Let's have an example. Come on, let's give it to me. Come on. How'd you get so far down the page? Excuse me. Before they start showing you an example. Top of the page, we're programmers. So we've got a foo interface, a system under test. We have a test foo and then a new Go mock new controller, passing in a type T of test. Then we can create a new mock foo as our controller. Don't get that. New controller, new mock foo. Is there something else I'm missing? Maybe not. Then we expect bar to equal 110. So given that I call go mock equal 99, it will return, I'll call that as bar, and then I'll return 109, and it expects that. If not, boom. So system under test, passing in M of foo. Right. I also dislike strongly non-working examples. I can't copy and paste this. I can't write this in and just run it. So I kind of get it because I'm used to other mocking frameworks, right? But if I just have my dunce cap on, I mean, I'm a bit ill today, so a bit lower on the IQ spectrum. let's have a look at this. Right, we've got a test. We've got a new controller, which is like a mocking controller that wraps around our test. I get it. Now we've got a new mock foo. Don't know where that comes from or what that is. And we pass in now our controller that's coming back from this, of which type we don't know. Then this gives us this given when then type structure, DSL layer, like m dot call system, m dot produce document, m dot, and it allows you to build a pattern, which is cool. I like it. Hate it that when you pass functions in, but who have we, heard about other ways of doing this? M expects what we call bar, which is this. Go mark equals 99. Is that just producing a value called 99? Could have called it 69. Missed an opportunity there. And do and return a function, which we sleep, and then we return 101. And then any time. So it could be told 20 times, 100 times, one time, but it should be called once. So does not make any assertions, returns 103 when bar is invoked. Right. So with this, I don't like it. I don't like it. So am I going to pick up that ticket? Probably not. Because I'm going to have to learn this nonsense. So how's it included? What's it actually called? So it's called mock gen. So let's have a look at the code. And let's see, because it says migrate GoLang mock to Uber Go mocks. And the team have decided a good first issue. Really? I take it there's no Uber Go mock in here. They're wanting to update all mocks to this. Oh, that's the generators. That's not mock gen. That's not this. Install the mock gen tools. I'm not reading this properly. Dunce. Let's just see for UberGo. Although I can never get this search tool to work when you've got dashes in. No. So Radius uses Go logger backed by UberGo's Zap. Right, okay, so that's not even this. So UberGo mocks. So there's a history of using UberGo stuff, just not this mock framework. Go no longer maintains GoLang mocks. I did not know that. Really? Is that true? Must be if triage this. For future upgrades, we should migrate GoLang mock to UberGo. It's going to be difficult to search the code for that, but I can get a basic reference, I think. In fact, have I got, I'm sure I've got the code already locally, because I was working on a problem. Where would it be? Um, Radius. Could have guessed that. Okay. Git status. We made any changes. And git stash. Git pull. Rebase just in cases. Oh, Jesus, honestly. No, SSH. Anyway, I'll move on. Don't want to waste time with that, and I suppose especially don't want to do that on camera. So looks like we've got that's 163 places. Oh no, 163 files. Fuck you. Fudge. That's a hell of a good first issue. I don't know if I'm willing to take that on. That'd take me weeks. So this is half the battle, is picking something that you want. Issues, great for one to pick up for a new contributor. Should only require small changes and not assume a deep knowledge of radius. Okay. So we're not sure if this would be complete drop-in, but we would welcome partial progress. I love this, where as long as you commit to something like we're going to move logging framework, so you're going to move to a different mocking framework, a lot of people get it into their heads, and developers, that you've got to do the whole thing in one great big go, one great big PR that goes through. And the problem is that then PRs get stale really quickly because other developers adding code to it. So you're always fighting a losing battle of every file that you update gets done whilst people are PRing it and, you know, giving you feedback. You've got to make them changes. But for every day that branch gets stale is yet another day that code is being committed to it that causes conflicts. And conflicts is you wasting your time fixing something that shouldn't be fixed. You should not spend your time fixing merge conflicts. You should spend your time writing feature code. So this is awesome that I could focus on a module, just one module in the ecosystem, migrate that to UberGo, and then fix it, right? So what I'm going to do is I might have a go at this. So there's 163 files. There is, I need to understand basically how it's currently marked and work out how I can then just move it across. So like they say at the moment, they are using, it's obviously GoLang, isn't it? GoLang mocks, which no longer supported or maintained. Great. And I need to work out how we can quickly adapt it, because these guys aren't idiots. So if they're saying that it can be moved without much problem, the contracts, the way that they work, must be very similar. So we got, let's see, I'm trying to find an example. Mock factories, Go mock controller. So if we have a look at this one, in fact, folders are good. Folders are really good. If we focus on the commands, then if we have a look at, say, app, actually, it's the more. What's that? Because what we can do is, because we can do by folder, and Go's really good at folder versus module, you can kind of jump down into the stack. So here's one, lists all applications using the radius command. So these are all of them. If I then just dive in fact, I'm just under app now, so this is cool. So if I was to focus on just upgrading app, which is listing all the apps that you've got in your Kubernetes cluster, I can move all of these from GoLang mock GoLang mock to Uber Go mock. I can focus just on this module, the app, and I'll do all the app ones. This should be relatively easy, but of course I need to learn it first, right? I'm not just going to dive onto this code and do it. We have to have a little bit of a poke around. So we create new controller. We have our controller, then we can do it. The syntax looks the same, so I think this is why they're saying this is super easy. So there's a graph test, there's a delete, there's obviously a show. So all the commands for app, show, create, delete, list, graph. Oh, that's the new graphing system, isn't it, to show it in the desktop. Never got that working on mine. Got permission errors all the time. So so the graph go mock creates a function, mocks the application. Right, it's okay. Right, first things first, let's have a look at GoLang mocks and look at Go mock. It's been archived, right? And it's Go mocks. It's been archived, but I thought it was still being supported. No, it's now read only. Where the hell have I been? Been using this all over the place, even still. Right, let's see if we can create a little example that's going to sort this. Present working directory, where am I? Radius, you'll go to dev. Is it training or just GoLang itself? GoLang samples, yeah, go into the GPL tailor. What have I got in there? I've not got one already. Weird. Okay, make dir. What we're looking for, we are looking for go mock, gd, go mock. Need to list, because everybody lists when you go into an empty folder. It's just what you do. Don't judge me. Have I got anyone in chat? Let's have a look. No. Hello, empty space. Okay, right, go mock. Let's do git. No. Go mod init, GPL tailor, and go mock. Got a mod. Let's do a neovim. Let's do an E for main. So I'm not going to make package and command prompts and everything. I'm just going to make a simple app here. So insert, let's go into package. So import, let's do formatting. Let's close this. Func main. Let's just print hello. Okay. Let's write that, run it. Just make sure it runs. Yep. Awesome. So what we say in here, yeah, so we're even referring people to Uber Go mocks for maintain forks. So Go mock is a mocking framework. We all know that. It's integrated well into Go, built-in testing packages. Once you've installed Go, install GoMack tools. Note, if you've not done so already, make sure to add Go bin. To the latest release. Go on. Right. So let's run you. If you use Go mock gen in your CLI pipeline, it'd be made appropriate to fixate on a specific mock gen version. Yep. So this is how do I install Go mock? Once you have installed Go, install mockgen. Well, that's just with that. So I thought that was a CLI though. Okay. I don't think that will run. Oh yeah, of course. Honestly, Gary, you're an idiot. Got it for other projects, haven't I? Right, has two modes of operation, source and reflect. In source mode generates mock interfaces. Reflect mode generates mock interfaces. Great. Source mode generates mock interfaces and reflect mode generates mock interfaces by building a program that uses reflection. So from source files. So one uses reflection, clues in the name. One uses source, clues in the name. So you can use the source flag or we can use the no flag. Use the dot. I expected that to be the other way around, but okay. Reflection mode generates marks. You can use the dot to refer to the current path. Oh, we didn't know that. New mockgen database mockgen flags So we've got source, destination, packages, imports. So building a mock, we can do that. Then we can run a test. So if you're using Go version so building a stub. So we're going to need a test file for this just to get everything crystal cleared. Modifying feature messages, modifying once. So go like once format. What if I go debugging errors? So I wonder if there's a better tutorial for this. So go mock. Get my fingers in the right place tutorial. So I need to start with marks. So let's go to E. Because if we go through and understand Go mocks correctly, then migrating and moving over to UberGo's easier. So what is GoMax and why choose it? GoMax is testing framework. Yeah, we know all that. Just want to get into the meat. So install. Let's make a source directory. Go get, go mock, which we've already done. And create your first. So, no code format at all. That's hard. That's hard to read. I'm too old. I'm too old for this. So package imports. Got a payment. So they're building up a payment system for Stripe, which Stripe is an online payment gateway. They're sending data. They're going to get responses back. They're going to check the amount. It's too low. So there's a bit of conditional operators going on. Great for tests. So creating a mock object. So after defining your interfaces, you can use mock gen tool to generate your mock objects by defining interfaces and import paths and destination import paths where your mock objects from code generation should live. If no destination is specified, mocks will print a standard output. Although mockgen supports other modes like reflect mode. Let us use source mode to mock from a source file. I didn't know you could do that. So you can actually look at an executable and generate your mocks from the executable. Isn't it a little bit too late? Isn't the horse bolted? Mockgen destination mocks. Okay. So let's take this. Let's go here. Let's execute what we're looking for. We've got a folder called mocks. Mocks. Yep. Yep, that's empty. Okay. Look at source module implementation, mocks, you should see it creates a number of structs. You don't need to understand all the code, but here's what structs are generated. Yep, so you get all your models, you get all your interfaces and structs and stuff, and what you're able to do then is generate helpers that you can then use instead of the actual underlying system. Then what you can do is you can obviously import the stuff and use them. Because it's not code formatted, this is really difficult to read, but I kind of get the implementation of it. It's just, I don't know what's going on here. Made a right mess. My brain can't fully grasp that. I certainly can't copy and paste it, which is what I'm looking for. Because I'm lazy. Because we're all lazy. Don't want you. So look at you. Graphics card shooting up for no reason. Hopefully the stream's still okay. So we've got to this. We can set up marks. We'll create our basic interface. Oh, it's medium. I've not bloody hate that. Just hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. What's happening to this world? You can either watch it on YouTube or you have to pay for it. It's like there is no tutorials anymore on the internet. I might as well go to ChatGPT and ask it. And that's happening more and more. You know, as ChatGPT takes over and all these LLMs are going there, everyone's now holding on to the data because they now know that the data is precious. So instead of making articles available to the world, they're now hiding them behind a payment wall. So manually create mock objects. Manually create mock objects involves creating a struct that implements the same interface as the real object, but with mock data and behavior. This technique is useful when dealing with simple objects that have a small number of methods. So you can do it manually, of course. So that's probably an easier way to begin, right? We use this mock data like that. So for instance, we've got a database, we've got a mock database, and then we've got a function that takes in the mock database. Sorry, we've got a function for the mock database. which is a get, and we got a set on the mock. Get and set just has a data type map of strings that it just stores, which is fine. And then it gets, you can just get the value out of the key. Otherwise, it'll return an error. So you got a string and error, object back, properties back. Another way to create a mock object is by implementing interfaces directly. So this technique is best used when dealing with more complex objects with many methods. So the top bit isn't using any mocking system as such, it's just using the great stuff of interfaces. You know, you've got to get in a set. Well, both them two systems implement that interface so they're passable. You can either use a mock object or a real database object, and your code will just run it. It doesn't care. Another way is to create a mock object by implementing interfaces directly. This technique is best used when dealing with more complex objects. So we've got a database interface, a mock database struct, which has got set function, get function, that's the type, structure. Then we've got the gets and sets, which implements it. Okay, just seems the same to me. And using functional callbacks, I want to get to the point where we use Go. Using GoMock, framework for mock generation. So key features, installing, importing, okay, creating a mock object using Go. So we have a type fetcher, which fetches some data. Then we import GoMocks into our test. What we'll do is we create a new controller. At the end, we will close the controller. And does that mean the controller's a channel? Let's have a look. Mock fetch, expect fetch data, return data. So when we call it, we expect us to get some data back. Call code, So can I just steal this for a second? So I'm going to need a new file. Fetch a test. Where did you go? You should be in. Let's have a created that in a crazy place. Package main. Port format. And what we've got is we've got this test. Like that. Where did it go? Oh, it went into the wrong folder. I don't know why that went into the wrong folder. Present working directory should have been that one. So if we move that fetcher, let's move it back into GoMocks. Go into GoMocks. Present working directory should be GoMocks. Weird. Main. Fetch test. Okay. And of course, import not used. What do we have? We should have, yeah, testing, and we should also have git mocks. Does that make the LSP a little bit more happy? Could not import kit marks, no required module provided Go marks. Okay. Get it. Right. So of course, new mock fetcher doesn't exist. That's fine because we know that. So we want this type. This tester. And we're going to need that object, aren't we? So where was it? So new mock fetch is going to be the object that needs to be created based off running it, but I thought this was just going off source. So of course we need to run the command to build it from our code. So I think I probably missed that step. So what have we got? Got process data, process test data. Got main. Mock. So I don't think it's showing us how to actually build from source for some reason. Let's implement the interface, which is fine. Then we've got create a mock object. To create a mock object using GoMocks, you must first define the interface representing the behavior, which we've done. For example, let's say we have a fetcher interface that retrieves data from an external API. We want the mock behavior in our unit test. Here's what the fetcher interface might look like. To create a new mock object for this interface using GoMock, we need to follow these steps. Create a new controller using GoMock. Create a mock object using the controller createMock method, passing in the interface you want to mock. I'm missing something here because we've got the mock thing up at the top, but there's nothing in there yet because we've not generated it, because we've not run the mock from source. But I can't see that here. Set expectations on the mock behavior, call the control finish. Does that happen automatically when you just run the unit test? Does it build them automatically? I highly doubt it. Where's my mouse? So when writing unit tests from code that depends on external dependencies such as databases, can be difficult. One approach to solve this problem is to use mock objects. Yeah. So key feature of mock. Right to that. So go get mock, which we got. It's weird. It's like this tutorial's missing steps. Okay. Well, let's see if I can create another shell. Da, 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 da. I really need a better computer. Well, the computer's not bad. It's an i9, like 32 gig of RAM, I think. But the graphics on it is poor. So when I'm doing any kind of development, streaming, sorry, it's just really slow. Perfect when I'm not. So what have we got? We've got go mark. Okay. Didn't I just run? Mock gen, sorry. Oh god. I did, I ran it. Mock gen. So mock gen. Let's see if I've got it in this command prompt I have. So we can mock generate, and we can do from source. He says, not being able to see they'll set the source at the top. So if we could do source, does it IntelliSense? Does it? Equals, and what have we got? Fetcher. A bit weird. Obviously your classes should be, somewhere else. If I do that, what do I win? So we get that, and we can obviously pipe that out to some kind of source. But what we can also do is, I always have all this stuff in makefiles, and it's great. But as soon as you do something with makefiles and you distribute these makefiles as part of a collection to a team, you forget what the bloody hell's happening in the makefiles. So destination is where you can actually store the files. And I think what we do is we have like a mocks folder, and we can then say destination, which I've got absolutely no chance of spelling. Destination equals, and we've got a folder somewhere, mocks. Now I can't remember if that actually makes the files. Yeah, let's say fetcher mocks. In fact, I'm just going to call it mocks, I think, which is going to cause all sorts of problems. And then what I'm going to do, yeah, that's a really bad name. It's all called Go Mocks. So it'd be like Go Mocks, 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 Mocks. That's going to get really confusing. Da, 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 da. Let's remove mocks, fetch mocks. Okay, let's go back in here. Let's have a look at the file system. Let's have a look at the mocks that we just generated. And we've now got these lovely mocks. So if I go back to the test, new mock fetcher is not enabled. So what I probably need to do is import it. In fact, what package was it? Did it know to put it under a mocks package? Mocks main, okay. Yeah, that's another argument that you pass in. Okay, so if I go here and I insert, no, if I, can you figure this out for me? Yeah, no. It would be GitHub and it would be GPL Taylor. And then it would be mocks. Mocks. Right. GPL Taylor, go mocks, mocks main. Couldn't find GPL Taylor, go mocks. Oh, come on, LSP. Restart. Should be that. Right, what am I doing wrong? Jump to definition, can't find. So what we've got is we have a, come on, go to file, go mod, which is GPL Taylor go mocks. Tidy. So I cannot find GitHub, have I called that right? So github.com, yep. GPL Taylor, yep. / go mocks, / mocks main. No, I don't need mocks main, do I? Oh, honestly, Gary. I told you that would be a problem. So it might be mock or it might be mock main. It's probably going to be mock main because that's the name of the package. Right. Let's see if the LSP can figure it out and help me out. Oh. Honestly, Gareth, this is like really simple stuff. Got a mocks folder, mocks in it, so it should just be mocks. Absolutely sure of it. Right, so imported as mocks main and not used. So I was right. So why is it not used when we're supposed to be doing that? So maybe we need to do mocks dot mocks new. Yeah. I don't want to import each definition on its own. So I'll just fix this. What we're doing. We've got, there's only one place that's doing it, isn't there? So I'll look at undefined, undefined func, my func. Yeah, where's my func? Let's have a look at that. Anyway, mocks dot. Now we've got that object. Really? Really? You want to go there? Why is the LSP telling me that mocks exist, but it's saying it's mocks main? Should I just change the folder and the file to mocks main? That'd be make my life easier. Yeah, I really don't like that. Kind of cock that up. I do this all the time. It's like I don't learn. I kind of get a name in my head and then everything is called that name. And before you know it, life's a little bit complicated because it's mocks, 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 mocks. Yeah, so that solves that. I wouldn't do this, by the way, on in production. Don't do as I do. Right, so now we've got a my function. And my function doesn't exist, so what's he doing with that? So here, got a call to my function, which he never tells us what it is. I just hate examples that don't work. It's a real, honest to God, it's a real pet hate of mine. If you're going to do a tutorial, for the love of God, give it to somebody else and let them run through it and give you feedback. Say, great, but where's my func? Oh, I just expected them to make it themselves. Well, that's great, right? But put it in. Put it in the code. Just make it a bit more easier for people to use. So my func is taking a mock fetcher, which is an object that's going to expect the fetch. So if I do a func called my func, which is going to take a fetcher. Yeah. And it's going to do some work on it, and then we're going to return some bytes. So we're going to return hello world. I don't know what that is. Page. All right. And then we should be able to just return from that. Okay, like that. And if bytes, no definition of bytes anywhere. Byte strings. It's not importing anymore as well. I don't know why. Come on. Come on. Help me out. Strings byte. I'm sure that's a thing. Is it capital B? Oh, maybe it's not. I thought, there was a. Okay. We'll do it old school. Need to look into that. I thought the strings had a converter for just converting the actual string bytes. Loops over them, looks at the number comparison, and then produces a byte string from it. But I prefer that rather than the cas. Right, so I'm just going to take this out for the meantime. Okay. Shortcut's doing something weird. V, go down. Capital insert. Weird. Visual mode. Insert. Visual mode. Go down. Maybe it's capital V. Shift V. No, Shift V is the whole line. Visual mode. I wonder if it's Control and V. No, because that's what I'm doing. It's like a paste. Visual mode. End of line, start of line. The next empty line. Can go down. Can move to previous character. Then I want to go to insert mode, and that takes me out of that visual select mode. Sorry, just delete the bloody thing. Right. Declared not used. No, there we've got data. Undo that. Right. Get there eventually, right? So bytes, I thought I did not reading it correctly. So bytes is that unparsed parameter f. Yeah. Warning. Good warning though. So basically, obviously I've got my function that's going to work on the fetcher, but I never returned data, mainly because at the moment I'm going to mock it out. But realistically, I should be calling that. That should be the real one, and then I create a mock object here from it. But I'm happy for the meantime. We're just playing, aren't we? Code test. Unexpected data. Missing call to fetch data. Yep, we knew. An aborted test due to missing call. Okay. That's actually pretty cool. So we got the unexpected data because that's not what he was expecting to get back. We also got the fact that it knew that we're not actually calling fetch data, which is an absolute smell because what the hell are we doing? Why are we running this routine if we're not actually calling that method? So that's pretty cool. So if I just be daft, if I insert fetch data, so my data equals f dot fetch data. Hello world. I wonder if I can cat that my data. Is that clever enough to do that? No. Is it a concatenation that I now need to do? Assignment mismatch variable fetch data returns two values. Yeah, because it returns my data and an error. And I'm not really bothered about the error at the moment because I'm just playing. And then it's going to say my data not used. So I'm just going to get rid of this, right? Take my data, delete, right, go test. Awesome sources. Well, that took a while. So what we've got is an example here of how to use the test. We've got let's run through the steps. We have our data that we're going to use. We've got our interfaces that we're going to use in code. They will be in sub-modules somewhere within the code base. We then have the actual implementation, which generally sits side by side within that module that decorates these interfaces with real life code. And they do work. They work on whatever particular data sets they've got internally. Then what you've got is a test. What we can do is we can generate out of these interfaces and structs, we can generate mock data sets. And if we have a look at these, you shouldn't really mess with them. But we import the GoLang mock package. Then what we're able to do is create mocks over the top of everything. So you get this like mock your name, mock new mock your name. I think there's a system mock your name or something similar. And then the framework itself has like a abstract syntax tree or a syntax definition language, which allows you to do something dot something dot something, and you can make sure that there were calls to certain things. And I think this file's not too big, so it's quite easy to understand, which is good. It's good. So fetch data, we're checking, then we'll call it. So we're able to either completely mock or actually even use your actual code. So we're able to actually wrap round, or this library is able to just wrap round them things. So let's have a look at the mock. I think that was a set file test. So new controller, let's jump to definition on that. So it creates a new controller. What we're returning back a type of controller, which at the top we can see has got the test helper, mutex, a call set, and whether it's finished or not. And then we're help things that are wrapped around your inputted test type. So actually it's really, really simple. You know, you can see there you've only got a couple of things that are extending this object, just wrappers. Yep. Now you've got a controller. Once we've finished, we want to wrap stuff up. Finish checks to see if all methods that were expected to be called were called. So yeah, we're a cleanup utility. Control finish, jump to definition on that. Of course, it's below. Check some mutex. Right. So obviously, this is what it's doing is it's going to have a mutex, which is a lock, and it will say, right, all of these things have got to be called, and once they are, the lock will be unlocked. So if you're in this state where you're finishing, but there's still a lock, there's something going on that's not quite right. Awesome. Then badly named, terrible folder name, terrible module name, sorry. Mock main, go and create a new instance of this mock fetcher. So this is a generated code that we run by using mockgen. And this looks like, let's have a look, we're wrapping the controller. So it's yet another kind of wrapper, like a factory pattern. But we get the controller, but we also get this recorder that allows us to, we didn't get to that part of the tutorial, but we get to like map out the things that this system can do. And returns, create a new instance of the mock recorder and return the mock. So super simple. So now there's these extended decorator methods. Now where did that come from? Because I actually didn't see it. Do I not need to escape that? I don't. That's weird. Normally you need to escape characters like that. Okay, so we've got an expect. That's all we've got. Okay, and the expect returns then mock fetcher. Just trying to work out where the kind of factory pattern comes from. Is that the assert? I'm just walking the stack. Yeah, it's just a... It's like a circular reference there, isn't it? Weird. So we expect fetch data and return. I might be thinking about a different library, but I thought there was far more than that. I thought there was like a mock fetcher. To use this IntelliSense, you really didn't help me then. Mock fetcher dot expect, if not expect dot, yeah, fetch data. It's really primitive. Okay, so anyway, the cool thing about this is that we expect fetch data to be called, and we expect it to return some data called data, and when we then create run my function with the mocked fetcher, this is where Go really shines. This in other languages is a bit more problematic because it's got to be a type interface or something like that. A strong GoLang is a typed language, of course, but this ability to create classes, this ability to create classes allows really cleaner stuff. I'm just going to check my video because my graphics card's just jumped down to 0 CPU, which is good. Still recording, still up and running. We still streaming. Yeah, graphics card's bumped up, still streaming. Yeah, sorry about that. It's just graphics card jumped to 0, which normally indicates that the stream's finished. Got cancelled. Somebody cancelled me. Yeah, so this is really good. This way of being able to just passing a mock here and go to this. And what we've got the data back, and then if error should be up, whatever. If error, unexpected error, because we didn't mock for an error, because we didn't here. And then we're just expecting the byte array data to be the same as that data. Reflect compare would be good there. A bit cleaner, a bit easier to understand. And then, of course, if we didn't call it with error. So we can test both sides of this logic. What we can do is copy that out, but then we've got to create my data. My data equals new data array. So we can kind of simulate the fact that we're going to return data. Get a warning because the type F isn't used, but that's fine. We do, should make a make file. This is driving me insane. Go test. We get an error correctly. Now this is great because everything's right. I'm going to return the byte array of the string data. But because it didn't call that fetch data and we expected it to, our unit test fails. That's just awesome. Let's have a look. test. And now we're passing. Just awesome. Right, so that's Go Mock. How long have I been streaming for? Probably way too long. An hour and 15. Wow. Right, so I'm going to wrap it up. Fact, it'd be nice to actually get another test that we can sort of see, but I'm just going to have a look at other things because I could have swore that the Go Mock does far more than this. Do you know what? But I might even just chat. Let's go into my little gopher. Where are you there? He knows all about Go. Show me a list of features that, geez, that it's GoLang mocks, isn't it? Don't want to ask about UberGo yet. GoLang.mock can do. Focus on how to assert data using what do they call it? It's not abstract syntax tree, it's not business domain logic. What's it called? Like business defined language. Business defined. DSL layer. So what can we do? Can expect, we know that. So everything that just took me an hour was there. And of course, there's also templates that you can get this logic and just write all the code for you as well, or you just then just fill in the blanks. So I like to do things manually and then work on the tools that do the things automatically. Like I'm typing all the commands in by hand, and of course somebody's already got a make file or something out there that or a task file that can just do all this stuff automatically. But by doing that, you fail to learn. By doing that, when things go wrong and the toolings fail you, you're scuppered, scarpered, done for. Let's show more features of GoLang. But more, surely it does more than just assert. Could have swore I had and this and within this time and blah 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 and number of times called. Either I dreamt it or it's a different programming language. Okay, yeah, there we go. There we go, my little friend. So we've got things like do it and return. This function allows for executing custom actions when a method is called. Do is used for side effects without affecting the return value. Yeah, after Then we can put arguments. And then any times, this expectation specifies that a method may be called any number of times, including 0. So I think that gets a parameter as well. Nested matches, testing asynchronous code, integrating with GoTest. So if we look at any time, expected, there we go, do, returns, it's on the expected, but I didn't see that when I was in IntelliSense. I did not see that at all. So mock, fetch, expect, dot, oh right, fetch data and then do this. I went on the wrong bloody method. Here we go. Do anytime. Expects it to return. Of course, there's the return there. Then after that, so delete that. Have you got anything on that? Times say 2. Right, and then if we do test, let's see if it fails. Yeah, aborted test due to missing calls. So if we go up here, if we yank this and paste it in again for just no reason, we can't do that because it already exists at that point. Don't like that. Just don't like that. Just really don't. Okay, let's run it. Passed because we called it twice. So if we change that to 3 and we run this, what we can see is it'll fail because we didn't run it 3 times. So if we then go to this and just cancel it, go down, yank and paste, we can run that. Yeah. And we pass because we're calling it 3 times. So there's a whole host of these extra ones. Now, if we look at Go Uber, oh sorry, white screen alert, by the way. So GoMox framework, we've gone through this, so I'm not going to read this again. So we install it by doing that, mockgen version, it's your paths. Good God, really? Are we still using GoPath? I mean, if this is newer, why on God's green earth are we still using things like that? Run mockgen. I would have thought it would have replaced it because this is what I was talking about before with the mockgen tool. Well, I suppose it's good, right? We're still using the same mocks. So why the hell would we then use a different mocking framework when the generated mocks are the same? I don't get this. Right, so we know all the flags. This isn't a UberGo thing. This is mockgen. So building the mocks from your system under test, then we write a test. And we've got Go mock, new controller, new mock foo, expects Burr to return this. So it's almost like for like. I mean, you could be forgiven for thinking you could just change the import at the top and the damn thing would just run. So if that's the case, that's pretty cool. So building a stub. So of course you've got your foo system under test, which we've got, code here as my func. So that's basically the system under test, if you like. Foo interface, of course, is the fetcher interface. Then what we've got is mock go. There's your change. New mock foo, exactly the same. So it's the controller that's being passed in. So if we look down here, we have a controller that we're creating, and we're going to create a Go mock here instead of a Uber mock. If we look at this controller, this was just a wrapper, if we remember, for the helper, and mutex and system under call. Control E, let's go back. So that creates a new controller. And then when we create the mock, we pass in the controller. That wraps it again. So we've been through this. This wraps it again, passes a controller in, and decorates it with a recorder. That returns a mock fetcher. So I think the interesting thing really is when we call fetch data, we're going to actually call the helper class or function, then mock controller, record with method, and this is the bit that's doing all the magic. Returns this caller. I just realised I don't have my keyboard thing on. So we've got go mock, call. Call represents an expectation of call to a mock. And my goal here isn't to actually, go to death on what the framework does. I just want a deeper understanding. Yeah, that's what we should do. Get a deeper understanding of how these things work. Great to just use them and just call the one or two methods and get on with your day job. But it's really nice to get a deeper understanding as to what these things are doing. And with Go, that is so simple. You're always in control of how these things work, and you've always got the knowledge of how these things work because it's just code, right? So I wonder if that was a controller there. So I wonder if I could just swap these out. So let's install that. And to ensure it was correctly installed, use. I wonder if this now replaces the mock gen. That'd be interesting. No, yeah, because it's course, it's UberGo, it's mock gen now. Bugger, what I should have done was get the version. I get it. I completely missed that. Anybody commenting in the chat or anything, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Should have a different name. We're not playing well though. Ubergo mock gen's going to create that. I wish before I run that command I had got the version. Um, I did this before. Commands.sh, and it put it in a weird directory. Execute these. Let's go run test. So everything passed. Blockchain 0.4.0. Right. Doesn't tell me any more information about it, unfortunately. I'm getting annoyed with typing all these commands out, so I'm just using showcase to be able to run things. So I can just do that and then the results pops up in a panel. Okay, cool. Quit that. Let's go back to fetch test data. Let's run the mocks, in fact. So what we want to do is we want to do, what was it, mock gen. And the source, just source equals, and we want fetch test data. Mocks, fetch test data. No, we just call it mocks, which need to check. Come on. I'm pressing backspace, but nothing's happening. Package mocks. It was mocks underscore main, wasn't it? It's just terrible, terrible name. So let's execute that. So error executing the command. Okay. Okay. Be nice to know why, but hey. Yang. Let's see if there's actually more information in the terminal. System cannot find the specified file. Okay. So what was it? I'll go fetch as the source. Okay. So we just have fetcher there, but it's fetcher underscore test. So fetcher underscore test dot go, and destination is going to be mocks. And then package main. So if I do this, right, and this makes an absolute mess of the mock that we've got, now some to that run, no output for some reason, but okay. Jump to file, let's have a look at mocks. Let's have a look at what this looks like. GG. So yeah, so now we're using GoMox. Couldn't import GoMox, which is absolutely fine. V, and let's yank that Go no, go mod add. This is why you must always do things. The command line, I can never friggin' remember. It's like go add, go include, go import. What is it? Honestly, it's like getting up in the morning. It's basic, you know, how'd you get out of bed? But when you just rely on get, I just honestly, no. Already got it though. Could not import GoMox. No required module provides Uber GoMox GoMox. GitHub. GoLang Mox. Okay, yeah. Go get Go Uber. Okay, let's jump to the commands. Let's add that. Go get. So we've got that as a list. Like that. Come on, play ball with me. Thank you. Right, so we've got that. We can run that now. Yep. Awesome. Let's load the LSP again just for fun. Go back to a test and we should have issues, yeah. Right, so it's changed, hasn't it? It's changed the module. Imported as mock main and not used. Let's have a look at it. Mocks main. Oh, bugger. If I'd have committed it to get something, I would have been able to track the versions, or if I had been clever enough to actually put it into a separate file, we would have been all right. But no, like a moron, I've overwritten the file and I expected undo tree to have helped me, but it didn't. It let me down. It let you down. It's let itself down. It's let me down. More importantly, it's let you down as a community of people. It's poor. Right, so the package is still Mox main. The test is still Mox main. I imported and we're using mock main. Oh, it mock main? Was that just a faux pas of my wording? Mox main with an S. Mock main. Okay, so what's easier to change? Main. It's just one. Okay. But it'd be quicker if I just went to it. But I've started, so I'll finish. Didn't even work. Didn't even record it. Not going to bother. Let's go to Moxmail. Let's just put an S in because I'm wasting time and my life and everything. Cannot use control variable of type. Yeah, of course. Can't use the original mock. What we need to do is use CTL control equals now go mock new controller of type T. Right. Cannot use GoLang mock. I've just typed the same thing in like a moron. Oh, what an idiot. Honest to God. So it's Uber Go. And how did they define that? Suppose it's just Go mark, isn't it? So undo Go mark, but it's all about references. So if we insert a new reference and instead of Go mark, we insert GitHub's Uber mark. Uber mark. Go to Jesus. I don't know why you're putting in mark. Go mark. Yeah. Run that. All right, that. Just guessed that, by the way. Should really follow the manual. Read the docs. Says, oh, that's the mock gen. How about, is it J mock? Really? Why would it not be Ubergo mock? Ubergo mock. Delete that. Think that. Commands. Ubermax, is it? That's a lot, isn't it? I know I could get it if I just read. I know. I'm well aware. I'm an idiot. That's not for debate. It's a known fact. Just used to everything being GitHub. Let me carry on reading the docs. Let's see. Let's see if I can do a find for go get. No, apparently not. Go get. Nothing. Right. Once again, it's like bread and butter of Go. It's like getting out of bed, being able to include the path references. So apologies, but we're nearly there. And actually, actually it's a lot easier than what I'm making it look. I'm not helping anyone here. Right, so this is the end, my friends. So the package is jmock, j/mock. Um, it says at the top that this is ubergo mock, right? Yep, ubergo mock under jmock. So what do I do? Do I do ubergo mock or do I do jmock? I didn't even know these two things could be different. I have added, I think, I have imported ubergo mocks. Let's have a look. GitHub, go Uber mock. So go Uber mock. Yeah, so if the mod there, go Uber org mock. Okay, let's give it a go then. Delete in quotation marks. Oh, delete in quotation marks. Insert go dot Uber org dot mock. Yeah, no S on the end. Just need to be careful of that. And I also need to check it within the lib, within the mod definitions. So what have we got? We've got um, go Uber org mocks. Yank that. Go back to test. Insert, paste it in. Cancel that, go there, move to the end and delete. Right. Go mock is now undefined and could not import that. No required modules provide package. Just restart the LSP just in case. Shouldn't have to do this. No. So what am I missing, boys and girls? This is ridiculous. I shouldn't be stuck on something that's fundamentally so bloody easy. This is not. Let's look at the samples. I don't care on implementation. Implementation. Why is samples not a sample? Uber go mock. insert goal mark. Right. Come on, keep up with me. On file. Go tests. Passed. Right. All that. So what we've done is we've first of all had a look at GoLang box. We then generated the file using its gen, and off camera, because it's boring, I'll double check that it definitely is a different library. To be honest with you, I can almost guarantee that that executable, the GoGen, is different. Of course it is, because that's evident in the fact that it's in the mock that it generates, because this is generated package mocks is generated by GoMocks. I'm sure there was something in here that was Uber. Yeah, so we're generating now a Go Uber mocks Go mocks. Should have read that. And then it's almost identical. There's a couple of changes, different ways of fetch data that's different. The call to fetch data under here is really, I think, is identical. It would have been nice to have two files that I could have compared. I might do that just so we can see what the actual difference is between the two generated mocks. Let's have a look then at the test. The test then is of course UberGo, and then mocks Go mocks to grab that. And then when I was calling the controller, of course, we need to use their controller, but actually no code should be changed there, because luckily, and I get it and understand now, we're calling it GoMocks because the original package that this replaces was called GoMocks. So it's really nice that they've done that so that it's a swap out. Just an example of Go, just a beautiful example of how Go can just, you can move from one package to another package, and you can actually put it down as a good first issue in your backlog because it's a swap out. And of course, there are going to be issues. There are going to be, when I start looking through this migration code search, I dove in just into apps so I can swap them out. And this is using GoLang's mocks. That is new Go. If I have a look at this, we get a controller. The code's identical. The way it works is pretty much the same. Come on, jump to the line. Thank you. So we've got this GoMocks controller. We passed that controller in somewhere. Yeah, to a new mock. Then we've got the expected blah 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 blah. Returns this, does it this amount of times. It's just bread and butter. So in theory, I should actually be able to just swap out the call at the top. So go mocks, and the trick is, right, we need to change the mocks. Now, is this using the generated mocks? It's like 100 odd. New mock management, right? If I go into where is that being generated? So that's got a client object, which I don't like. And then client has got a new mock. Now clients is radius CLI clients, which is a problem, right? Because I just wanted to focus on that one package. If I swap out the objects for client, then it's going to replace them mocks. So where is that being generated? Here's a client. Right, so this isn't as easy as I originally hoped it would be. My crisp recorder came up. Maybe I'm running out of time, or maybe it's just stopped and started, or maybe no one can hear me and I've just been talking for 2 hours. That'd be fun. So clients new module. So where is that actually being defined? That clients was in commands clients, I think. So there's a load of them. Great. This is where Go is sometimes hard work, is especially for newbies to it. It's trying to work out what is clients and what is that this method of this. It could be declared anywhere, and it could be overly declared and replaced based on your reference to what client is or clients is. So clients up at the top is radius package CLI clients package. So package CLI clients. That's it. Brilliant. Okay. Go to the side. If I come out a little bit, this ain't great at zooming in. So where am I? I'm in package CLI command, and we want package CLI client. So package CLI clients. Actually, we're mocks in there. Did I see it? Yeah. So this is, I could have searched actually. That I'm being an idiot. So this is generated, and the files for application are generated in here. So if I go back, I wonder if mocks. What I'm trying to work out is where the hell that client that generates its own client. We just saw that, and then there's a mock in there. So I can't just replace the mocks used by this system within command, because of course this needs an application which is managed by the client. So that returns back an object. So if I start using, if I generate a new mock object and I use the Uber file, that's going to replace that mock. Does that then screw up all the other tasks, all the other pieces of code that's also using this? Because that's going to replace in another file this implementation of this mock object, and it may not work. I also can't just replace this. So this is interesting actually, because does this understand it's using mocks? Because why is that there? That's something I need to play about with, because all I need is the client. I don't need got the mocks, because that returns the object. And that in return, I don't know if I can jump to it. I don't think they did any F12 magic in the browser. If I zoom back out, show more. Sorry, I've been through this 4 or 5 times. It doesn't show me the right one. It's a fucking pain. And I'll do this off screen. I'm wasting time and it'll be boring for anyone watching. But basically, that client object, which is returned from the obviously the CLI client, that has a mock inside there, which would return back. And it would be interesting if I could find all references. So we can see like these things are calling it. I think these are all basically the references to it. So if I change that, I potentially, and there's more than this, there'll be more, I potentially have the ability to cock up every one of these files. So that's something to be aware of. It's probably unlikely, right? Probably unlikely. But if this is calling, if I replace that object, right? This now is a different object, but it's still implementing the same interfaces. It's that's the cool thing about it. So all of these, which is then being passed on to this puppy, which is a runner, which is then going to run it as part of its list. He says, yeah. Don't even have control over it at that point. Expect, yep, times that. So nothing crazy there. I can't see anything that's going to hurt us. But of course, GoMock will need to be replaced with Uber in this file and every other bloody file, which is a large footprint of code I do not want to change. So that's my challenge. That's what I'm going to look at next. Of course, 2 hours in, I think, and I think we're more than enough. But what I'll do tomorrow probably is just have a quick look and see, is there a way I can segment a bit of this? Is there a logical grouping of modules that I can do? Or is the way that this client new mock application being generated has now put us into this problematic state? Is there a design fault with this? You know, the fact that I can't modularize it. I can't just simply work on a module and replace it, because there's a shared system across all of them. Before I say that though, let's have a quick look, because I haven't. So the commands, and these all look like rad commands. Yeah, I'm just go through them, just having a look. Command like deploy, get the recipes, look at the environment variables, list our resources. I'm surprised there's not more. In fact, I would expect there to be more. So 27. There are probably more directories than that. But 27 files affected, which isn't. It's not a ridiculously sized PR. But we can see here there's some in app, environment, group, commands. So they're all look like they're parts of the command system. So, right, I'll give it a go tomorrow. I'll have a bit of a play about with it. And if I think I can do it, I'll assign myself to that ticket. So, you know what? I think before the wife starts going absolutely crazy, and just throws me into the house, just quit all. Let's have a look. Yeah. And thank you for watching as per usual. And let's see if there was any chats. Once again, I get locked in focused. So apologies for anyone that's in the chat. So looking at what we're going to be doing, what did we do? We were looking at radius and unit testing. Port to ubergo. Mock. Go mocks. So thank you for watching. I hope you learned something or you got something from it. As always, I am